This is the future.
The new war update is right around the corner, unless Digital Extremes decided to delay it and make this video age badly. But what exactly can we expect from the new war? What will happen in our final battle with the Sentient? If this is our final battle with this faction, that is. As you all know, the new war started and we have already seen chapters of it in the game. What we are hyped for is the finale of the new war chapter. But by going back to each chapter, you can predict what will happen with the new war finale. First off, it started with the Chimera prologue, wherein a sinister cosmic being called the Man in the Wall prompts you to astral project yourself inside a dungeon, where you discover that Ballas survived and was turned into an amalgam, working for the Sentients. Seemingly angry at his captors, he creates the sword Parasisis, the Sentient Slayer, and hands it to you as a weapon for the upcoming war. Next, we received the Jovian Concord. Sentients are now on the offensive, trying to overcome their weakness against the Void. So they force Alad V to create amalgams, mixes of sentients with other races. They make the Tenno fight the amalgams to gather data on them, but little they know about Alad V secretly supporting them while they advance and fight the massive sentient creature, the Ropalolist. Nata contacts you to tell you that she's finally free from the Okin who made her betray her race and family, and she's now ready to finish the war. After defeating the Ropalolist, you find out it was just another way for the Sentient to gather data about you. And then, a new age has come with the Rising Tide update. After rebuilding a Cephalon from old times called C, he guides you to build a railjack spaceship, a galleon from the old war era, to take the fight to the stars. Sentients try to stop you, with no success, and you can now access new territory in the Origin system. Then, we got to know Erra. Once you discover the Veil Proxima, you have a new vision about the old war, showing you allied with the Lotus and other Tenno against the Sentient Erra, the brother of Lotus. He calls for her to know a Veil, with Lotus rejecting him and all the Tenno using void beams to attack Erra. Back in the present, you find yourself projected into a sentient ship where you see Erra alive talking with Ballas, who's now on a leash. He says that Nata has memory issues and still believes to be fighting the old war, which makes her perfect to tackle the offensive against the Tenno. After that, we have experienced Operation Scarlet's Beer. The beginning of the new war is marked by a mass attack on Earth, where the Sentients send the gigantic Condrex creatures, to gather planetary data for future purposes. Little Duck from Fortuna informs Teshin of this happening, and while he initially doesn't believe it, he quickly starts preparing a response to this invasion. Yours is the task of fending off these sentient invaders, both from the ground on Earth missions, and space in Veil Proxima in Railjack missions. The Grineer blames you for this invasion, so General Saga's Ruck and his troops will oppose you. Next, we then meet the Maker. In the sentient mothership, Erra and Nata talk about their deceased mother, as he compels her to finish the war. Nata's memories are still having issues since, while still believing to be on the old war, she also remembers ordering the Tenno to kill Erra. Erra insists, and after seeing Nata noticing that Ballas is an Ogin, he traps her on an energy field, dropping Ballas' leash and ordering her to finish the war. After that, we have Deadlock Protocol, wherein we met Pavos Granum, the founder of the Corpus faction, who had returned from the Void and asks for your assistance after finding the Corpus as a shadow of once they were. He disapproves of the current state of the faction under his son Nefano's command and decides to make a restructuring in preparation for the upcoming war. However, he ends up deciding that the Corpus may be lost forever and that it's time for a new doctrine, inviting you to join him. Next, we have Operation Orphix Venom. Still recovering from the previous operation, Sentients launch a new attack with machinery that can disable Warframes. As dire as this sounds, the Entrati family on Deimos assists you with the old technology of Necramx, retired mechanic rigs that you can use when your Warframe gets disabled. While fighting back, you receive a message from Nata, confessing that she developed this new technology, but secretly telling you she's dying. Last but not least, the expansion called The New War would be the climax for Warframe's current story arc, and it will feature an all-out war where you will have the chance of playing as other faction characters for the first time across the Origin system. This war will see massive attacks on all fronts, whether Israel Jack territory or Cetus. and you will have the opportunity to respond as the Grineer Trooper Cal on the plains of Idolan, the scared Corpus Soldier Vaso on a Corpus Station, and our mentor and Conclave leader Teshin, displaying some serious moves across the Proxima Vale. But aside from a massive sentient fight, what could the new war possibly be preparing us to? What would be revealed in the new war? Are the Lotus and Erra the main enemies in this chapter? Or are they just puppets by one man who is pulling all the strings? Well, just take all the things that you hear in this video with a grain of salt. But if I am correct, then it looks like both Erra and Natu are just pawn in the upcoming new war finale. There's a very sneaky entity that is pulling all the string, and that is the ballless Orokin named Ballas. But squad leader, the Orokin with no balls were chained by Erra, and that guy looks out of shape. First of all, much like corrupted Or, who proclaims that he is energy, an immortal being incapable of death, Ballas and other high-ranking Orokin appear to be undying, as elaborated in the fragments. It is currently unknown whether the process of continuity, the transference of an Orokin mind into a new body, is the key to this immortality or not, but if it is, then he can easily just get rid of that deformed sentient body and be his former self again. Also, there are hints that Ballas play a major role in the upcoming new war finale. He is the one who gave us the Paracelsus, the sentient killer sword, and he might be plotting something before he even gave us the sword. It is said that this sentient slayer may be used in the upcoming cinematic quest. It is either to kill Erra or Natu obviously. But the purpose of killing Natu and Erra is not as simple as freeing the Orokin with no balls, but I think he plots this so nothing can get in his way. I'm assuming that Ballas also is behind the sentient attack and purposely lets Erra capture him so he can easily manipulate the Lotus and turn her into her former self, which is Nata. He may be using us also so that he has the option to kill Erra and the Lotus, or we could see our Tenno killing Erra, then Ballas will take full control of Nata so he can command the army of sentients. Just think of this, why or how the sentients have allowed Ballas to be so heavily involved with their efforts to destroy the other intelligent life in the Sol system. And also, there's a concept image that was fully released during the quest to cure cancer of digital extremes showing Ballas. In addition, you can clearly see a mix of sentient and Orokin design, and Ballas himself is even on the damn screens. I thought their whole deal was that they wanted to wipe us all out due to our nature of draining planets dry to feed our excessive lifestyle, and in this goal the Orokin were at the top of the hit list since they are basically the embodiment of excess and gluttony. So why have they allowed Ballas to live at all, much less become an apparent figurehead of their efforts? It kind of undermines their whole motivation. Also, for some reason, I'm thinking that the thing happening here, that has been suggested in cinematics, is that this was Ballas's plan all along. He betrayed the Orokin and fled to Tau, or holed up somewhere in Sol, to aid Hunhao in destroying the Tenno, but by the end of the war most of the sentients are dead and the sentient maker seems to be dead also, or who knows where. Hunhao is a sword and there's not much else that has been mentioned of them since Octavia's anthem, while all other sentients that we have met in the past are out of nowhere. He may have looked like the prisoner and such, but ultimately he's manipulating what's left of their forces. Erra might not even be the real deal. Even Natu pointed out that we killed them in the old war, and Natu is kind of in captivity and apparently dying. It seems that everyone's been kind of tricked by that Orokin with no balls. I believe the only part of the plan he didn't agree on is when Nata turned him into the Chimera. Unless that was his plan, so that the Tenno think he's a sympathizer, especially by giving us the Paracelsus. What's Ballas' motivation, squad leader? Full control of the whole system, of course. We know how ambitious Ballas is and he will do anything just to get what he wants. We have seen it in the past, on how he manipulated Excalibur Umbra and turned him into a monster. Ballas is slowly rebuilding his empire, and I think this will continue to be the main story in the Duviri Paradox, which is an Orokin-themed open world. We will see more from Ballas, and I can't wait for what other storytelling the developers has to offer. Now, let me know your thoughts about this video. Do you also see Ballas as the main enemy in the upcoming new war finale and beyond? Or, do you have something in mind that you want to share with us? Let us know in the comment section below and discuss the upcoming new war update. Thank you so much for watching. Squad leader signing off.
This is the future.